Hey, mama. Welcome back to Rich Mama's Club. Y'all, look, I know you're like, okay, Brittany, this is the third episode with this outfit. No lie to y'all. I'm tired. I'm batch recording. I did not have the energy to change out my shirt like I normally do when I'm batch recording. But content creators, you know this life. That's just it. Like today is just not gonna be the day. But look, we're gonna get into it anyway. I'm so excited for our guest today. Grown to love her content. I love her perspective, the Purp perspective, as she would put it. I feel like she's like our local shade room here in St. Louis, like, because I can always go and find the tea. So she is a mom. She's an entrepreneur. She also owns a marketing agency as well. We spoke on a panel together last year, and that's where we initially met each other. And I like to follow her on these social media streets. And since she got 3 kids and I got one and I'm struggling, honey, and first off, her kids look like they could be her sisters because she didn't age at all. I just want to know the tea. So without further ado, y'all, welcome Purp to the stage. Look, how you doing, girl?
What's up, Britt? I'm first of all, thanks for having me in this space. I love everything that you're doing. Kudos to you.
Thank you, girl. Look, same. Look, I gotta give flowers and respect. I love when you can be in spaces with people and you do similar things, and it's no competition. It's like you do. I do what I do. I'm like I be tapped in. I know you be on some clickbait sometimes, but shoot, I'm like, oh, I could talk about this because it ain't my audience, but I be into the stuff too.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, this wouldn't fly well with my audience, but Purp gonna do it on her page, so I could tap in and feel like I'm a part of the conversation. And and you actually feel a nice little void. I feel like for me, because I missed the whole Black Twitter thing. I just watched the documentary. I don't know if you watched it. But I missed the whole Black Twitter thing. I'm not a tweeter, right? Look,
okay.
But I was like, man, where is that community where we could tap in on stuff that we all watching. We all watching it, right? But we don't know these people. So I like
so listen, so I kind of stumbled into that space, Britt, honestly, because for so long my content was just me and my kids for years, okay? But then this monetization situation came into play, and it forced me to give the people what they want, so to speak. And when you realize that not everything is about you, you kind of go and see what sticks, see what people are talking about, see what people want to hear or see from me, right? So that's kind of what happened. It wasn't like this thing where I'm like, I'm gonna do this on my page. My audience kind of forced me.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. And then in return, it's like, okay, I can still integrate my mommy content and I can still integrate the Purp brand and everything because now people are watching.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it kind of just opened up a whole little lane. And I'm so glad that you said that because like people actually send me things now to like, hey, Purp, talk about this. Or hey,
I think I've been one of them people. I'm like, you this, look about it so I can tap in. Look, I want to talk about it, but my people ain't gonna be for it. We
exactly.
Just got
exactly.
And it's no
audience. And then and then on top of that, even though I'm a mommy content creator originally, like my kids are big enough now to where it's not it doesn't affect them in any way. Like people aren't looking at me like, why she's talking about that? She got these little bit, like my kids are in high school. You know what I'm saying? So and the tea that they bring me to plays a big role as well. They keep my ear to the streets. Yeah, like like when I say I'm in such a great space, Britt, like I don't think I've ever been here with just being unafraid to project my voice and the things that I care about or the things that interest me or the things that I feel like the conversation needs to be pushed a little bit more. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I've encountered some pretty harsh things. People say some of the meanest things in the comments. People say things to try to get me to stop, I guess. But it ain't gonna work. Because I have a vision and I know what I'm doing. And I got the blinders on. So yeah, I'll go back and forth with some folks in the comments, but it all drives my needle. So I don't really trip off of it too much. But it does, it's getting to a point where I'm like, okay, I see what y'all doing. Like I see y'all really trying to, but it ain't gonna work.
Trolls be trolling. Yes.
Yeah.
Trolls be trolling. Okay, so we gotta unpack some stuff here.
Okay, let's go.
Excuse me. You got 3 girls. You are
Yeah.
would you consider yourself a dance mom? Your whole family dance. Are you a dance mom?
Yeah. So like
I
I
we
do
never even got to have this conversation. Let's even go back. How did you get here? How did you turn into this social media influencer? Starting this market. How did you get here? Let's go there.
Okay, let's go there. So I am a dancer first. It's my passion. I'll probably always do it as long as my body allows me to, right? Because it just brings me so much joy. Like I tell people, you need to really find something that really speaks to you in that way and never let it go, right? So that's what dance is for me. So back in 2013, wow, that's a long time ago. Back in 2013, after I had my kids and everything, it started to become a thing of like, what am I going to leave them? What am I going to start that they can pick up, later on in life and just kind of have something for them that they can always make some money or, something like that. So I started Grapevine LLC in 2013, right? I was about 27. Mm-hmm. And from that, I trained my kids in dance and my nephews and a plethora of other children around St. Louis. Like it was a big thing. Me and my partner, Lucretia Johnson. So in that regard, my children have always been involved in the arts. Always had some type of production going on, as I was too, because it was like a parallel universe verse. So I was dancing and performing. My kids were being trained and coming up through Coca and my programs and all of these different things. So we stayed busy all the time. So it wasn't so much of me juggling. It was more of like, okay, my kids have something. I'm a parent, so I know I got to show up to that, right? Well, when I have stuff, my kids are backstage. You know what I'm saying? Like rooting me on in the wings. And that has been our culture from the jump. So it was kind of like something where I didn't even have a chance to think about it. I was a young mom, and I just knew that we got to stick on this, right? So in doing all of that, I was the one that would always have my phone out, taking pictures, taking videos. And let's scroll back a little bit. When I got pregnant with Raya, I was in school for graphic design. Okay. So that has always been a world that I have always been involved in since I graduated high school. Okay, fast forward back. So I had always had my camera out. I'm always filming. I'm always like, we got to capture these moments. So graphic design has always been like a part of my world. I've always been intrigued by it. I learned a lot while I was in school. And then boom, I started having kids. And and so I dropped out. But lo and behold, it would come full circle back around to me because ultimately that's what I'm doing now with, all the content. All of that is graphics, it's design and placing things, in aesthetically pleasing so that, all of the things that go into creating content. But as far as the juggling thing, it was kind of like, I didn't even have time to think about it. I just, knew that certain things had to be done. I knew I didn't have a whole lot of help in doing it. So it was just kind of something that I just did without even thinking. But I know that's not everybody's story. I know that that's not every mom's reality, right? And then I was young too. So I had a whole lot of energy. That makes a difference. I had my first daughter when I was 19. So, like, I'm 37 now and my kids are 17, 16, and 13. So if you can kind of see the dynamic of, we kind of grew up together in a sense. I made a lot of mistakes. I ain't perfect. I know people probably look at me like, have this, I don't know, but we worked hard at it, right? We were very intentional about the relationship. I was very intentional about the relationship that I wanted to have with my kids. And I'm glad that it worked out that way, because you don't know what type of kids you're gonna have. You don't know if they're gonna be rebellious, if they're gonna, deter all the plans that you thought, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful that my kids are mild, that they really are. And that's a blessing, that I didn't have to deal with like a whole lot of behaviors and things like that. I just didn't have to, because that,
Yeah.
I guess I put it down early, right? I don't know. But
Look, you got lucky, sis. You got lucky. Look, I'm praying for some of that over here. I gotta go back. I gotta go back, because you was talking about, having your first child at 19. I be low key you trying to do the math, because you still look like you like 20 something, like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I've had friends who had children when they were younger, and I had friends who had children when they were older, and it's interesting, just like our children take on so much of who we are, because it's what they're taught and not what what they call and not what they taught. That's what I've learned. It's what they catch you on a daily. And I really enjoy seeing how you interact with your children. I love to see that. And also, you can see their respect for you in the content. And I think that often when people talk about, people having children young and a dynamic, and you got your kids all on, they don't understand that our generation is different. Millennials are just different, right? We grew up with tech. We grew up with social media. A part of our life will always be documented.
Period.
Yeah. So I'm just glad that you also are able to grab a bag while you're documenting the process. That's what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying. So here's the thing, Britt. It's so funny that you just brought that up, because me and my two older girls, we were literally just having this conversation last night. And I'm like, do y'all understand that y'all don't even know a world where there's no social media, no, instant gratification? We grew up in a world where you had to get caught. You had to get caught, and it was kind of hard to get caught and, doing certain things. Now, baby, you don't know who's watching you. You don't know who got their camera on you. They could be all the way across the street zoomed in. You never know. And I always tell them, just be on your best behavior. Be on your best behavior, because they don't, here's the thing. What I realized about my kids early on, they don't like to disappoint me. And I don't take that lightly. And I'm grateful for that, because it's not a fear. It's not a fear. I've instilled in them, I don't want them to be afraid of me, but they don't want to disappoint me. And that often steers their decisions, because as they grow, like I said, I got a 17-year-old and a 16-year-old. Okay. So, I can remember what I was like at that age. Right. And I don't think I necessarily I did some things I wasn't supposed to do, but I didn't really have that in the forefront. Like, I don't want to disappoint my mom type of thing. Right. But they do. And a lot of people have said, I just like that your kids are still kids. I love it too. But guess what? It's only because of the seeds that I plant in them. I can't live they're at an age where they could very well be doing a lot of things, and some things that I wouldn't know nothing about, because it's very easy to hide from your parents, right? As a teenager, right? But the open dialogue that we have, they come right home and tell me the tea every day. And I'm grateful for that. So then the question comes into play, well, should you be friends with your kids? And I'm going to go with unpopular opinion, because at some point, yes. Now, while they're still young, of course, lay the law down, let them know what's going on around here. But at a certain point, you're going to want them to come to you first. And if they don't feel comfortable enough to do that, you can forget about it. And so I'm grateful for that, because I have girls. I don't have any sons, and that is, I tell them all the time, I want to be able to help you. So if we keep this open line, I got you. There's nothing you can do that's gonna make me say, "Oh, I ain't fooling with her." It's not possible. You know what I'm saying? So it's just these real conversations that I've been having with them, and not sugarcoating things, and letting them know how cruel it is out here, and just be careful with who you give your energy to. We real big on that around here. Hence, let's go into the viral teacher situation, right?
Oh, I missed it. Okay, what happened, Purp? I ain't see you posted it. Hold on. Look, I get all my tea from you. Hold on now.
Yes.
What happened? Tell me.
Because of course you had, and I never want to discredit anybody's opinion or experience that may make them feel a certain way. I never want to discredit that, right? But to me, being a mom, I'm a mom 17 and a half years in, right? So I'm OG kind of, when you have an open line of communication with your kids, there's going to be a lot of things that just won't happen. There won't be a situation where my kids will be anywhere and somebody touch them inappropriately or say something inappropriately and they won't come and tell me. That's just not the culture of us. We lays it out. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, everybody was coming up with he's grooming these girls and he's doing this.
The one that was braiding her hair, that was braiding
yes.
her? Okay.
Yes. And I'm like, it's very sad. And I consider myself to be in education because I've gone in and taught dance in schools and stuff like that. So I'm around people's children in the arts realm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Of course, there should be boundaries. That's a given, okay? Like I said, I don't know the specifics of what, because we only get pieces. That's the thing. You only get pieces of the story, and then everybody forms an opinion based around that, right? Mm-hmm. But even if that was what his MO was, you don't have a good enough relationship with your daughter to know that she has a crush on this man, or she think this man is fine and she always in his classroom. Like, those are the conversations that we have. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll be like, "Mama, so-and-so was looking at me weird. He ain't got to worry about me ever coming by him again." Like, these are the things that, so I don't worry about them in certain situations because they're vocal. I've always taught them to use their voice. You know what I'm saying? Don't hide. If somebody is making you feel away, you open your mouth. You don't sit on that. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to the seed planting, right? And I'm just real big on that because, like, right now at the age that they are, they got to make some decisions on their own. And how can they do that if they haven't been taught how to see it or how to spot it, or you know what I'm saying? Those are the conversations that I'm having with my kids.
Man, okay, we gotta unpack. We gotta go back. I got a daughter now. We ain't in that place, but it's somebody else. They got some teenage girls. How are you facilitating those skills? How are you teaching them to advocate for themselves? How have you cultivated the relationship you have with your girls where they feel comfortable enough to say, "Hey, oh, that's not right. I'm going to say something." And then also to trust you enough to know, "Hey, like if I say this to my mama got me," right? So how have you facilitated that relationship?
So it started pretty early. Because I just always wanted them to know, like, there is with me, and I know I'm not traditional, even though some people might look at me and think that I'm so not traditional. I'm so not a traditional parent. It's scary to me because I can't even believe that I'm like this. Given the way I was raised, right? But it started early. I just started having those certain conversations with them. And then when they would answer me, they would see my reaction, right? So it made them feel safe first. They're like, "Okay, she ain't tripped like I thought she was," right? And even if I did trip on the inside,
you kept it together. You had good face. Okay.
I had good face. And that's not easy for me to do, Britt. My face is the hardest thing for me to control. So, I planted the seed of trust. So that first time when they realized that they could say something that another child would normally get in trouble for, that opened up a whole can.
That's
So
good.
it then, so it then got to a point where we was having conversations that I never thought I would have with them. And then after the conversations were over, I'm like, they trust me. That's big, huge, huge. So I'm gonna say it just went to me showing them what I told them was gonna happen. I told them this is a safe space. Whenever we have the floor open, however you need to express yourself in that moment, I want you to feel safe enough to do it, because you're not really gonna get many chances to do that out in the world. It's not gonna happen.
Real.
They're gonna label you whatever it is. But here with us, it's just us. It's for four young women here. It's just us. So if you're not safe here, where you safe at?
Man.
Where you safe at? So that's the most important part of the relationship that we have, is that we trust each other. I even trust them. I know it's so crazy.
No, it don't sound crazy to me. It sounds like you facilitated a culture that it's a reciprocal, like, hey, this is a sacred ground. And I respect that. I think that I wish more parents took on that mind frame of like, I need them to trust me. So maybe I need to not freak out at every little thing. Right. And I think I'm learning that now with my toddler. Like, I was just reading something about the gentle parenting. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying, y'all. Don't judge me. Judge your mama. But like I was saying, a lot of things, like, we're constantly correcting our child, because at this age, they're learning, that she's exploring all this other stuff that you didn't do it three times. And I'm like, oh, don't do it. I'm that right now, right? But it was to rephrase it to, let me give her options. Let me talk to her. Let me tell her why this is wrong, and explaining that. And I can see her guard coming down, because my daughter is the tantrum queen, and she still have tantrums. But this past 2 weeks, I have really integrated some of this. Let me let you decide. Let me tell you why. Let me put some boundaries in place. Hey, we got 5 minutes. We got 10 minutes. And I'm seeing my daughter's trust level go up with me, because this is what I said it was going to be. And I'm holding her accountable to that. I think so many parents don't realize how big accountability could be, no matter what the age could be. And then allowing space, like, hey, I understand you mad right now. I'm gonna let you be mad, but in 5 minutes we still leaving. My baby is young. I see, like, I feel like what you're saying right now is you facilitated an environment of stability with understanding that, hey, here's the sacred space. If you want me to trust you, you got to trust me, kind of thing. And I think that's amazing.
There you go. There you go. And I just feel like conversation rule a nation, right? You can find out a lot just by having a conversation with somebody, right? So as I'm growing and learning, and as they're growing and learning, we're constantly learning things about each other. You know what I'm saying? There are times where I'm telling them stories from when I was in high school, just so they could understand me a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Because all they know me is as their mom. Right? So, those, I feel like those backstories are very important. I love when my mom tells me stories about her, upbringing. It just does something for the relationship. And then I can relate to her in ways that I'm like, oh, well, I be feeling like that too. Or that almost happened to me too, Mom. Like, I'm glad, thanks for telling me. It's always a bonding moment. It's always teachable moments. They teach me stuff. Like, it's so crazy, because like I said, even with the whole social media thing, they keep my ear to the streets. You know what I'm saying? They, with the TikTok dances and all of that stuff, most of the time they're like, hey, Mom, do this one, or this is trend. They it's like they've made it a thing now. Like, it's kind of like it's on autopilot at this point. Which I'm grateful for. Because like I said, when my kids were young and just, maneuvering and moving around, of course, it's always going to be harder when they're small, because toddlers don't care about what you got going on. They really don't, you know, and a lot of times it goes against everything that they got going on. So, you know, being in the space that we're in now, I'm just grateful, Britt. Like, I'm grateful. My kids are like almost self-sufficient and it scares me. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's scary. It's like that thing you want to raise them to be like that, but then when it actually happens, you're like, wait a goddamn minute. Do y'all need me around? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Now we got so many years in between. My baby, she walked herself down the steps at school, and she just walked in a room and didn't walk around. I was like, hold on now, hold on, mommy holds your hand.
Like, what is this? What is happening? I know.
At a whole moment, I feel that. How does that? And it's you. Okay, I asked you if anything was off limits, but I'm curious because I have a few of my friends whose children are nearing the age of when they became moms. Do you have any fear of becoming like a Mimi or a Jaja? You know, we ain't grandmas in this 2020 whatever you know age. We always something else. But do you have a fear of that, becoming a reality for your girls?
Oh my God. So here's what I'm gonna tell. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna give you a secret. So when my kids were very young, I made a decision right then. I said, I got daughters, and I know they're gonna be beautiful and personality, little boy's gonna be in their face. So I said, if I keep them busy enough, they won't really have time. So that was like the driving force behind everything, right? So now they're in high school. They're still busy as ever. But Raya, number one, I don't think she's her tolerance for pain, 0. So she's already said, like, Mom, I don't think I'm gonna ever have kids. I'm over it. That's my oldest. My second daughter, she's very mean. The little boys, they like her, and she's just mean to them. So I don't see her, she don't have nothing cracking off right now. She's 16. Think about what you was doing at 16. I was on dates. I was, mama, we finna go.
This ain't about us, sis. I ain't finna pull my skeletons out. No.
So, well, nothing is off limits. I'm an open book. So, yeah. So, because when I was 16, Brittany, okay, I was dating their dad. Okay. So my kids they go to their little friends' parties every now and then, but they be at home. So it's kind of like, I ain't worried yet. Yeah. I ain't worried yet. They're not giving me any signs of that yet. I don't know, because they like mini me's, right? I knew how my little tone switched up. I knew how my little swag switched up. I knew how, the way I dressed switched up after that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
that. Now, okay, you just said something. I got to pull that out, because I think too, we have so much anxiety too about the things that we can't control. But the fact that you've been there and you realize what those cues were when you got to that point of being active and, whatever that might look like, you kind of know what to look for. And again, going back to that, you facilitated trust with your girls. Do you feel like they would come and talk to you like, hey, Mom, I think I want to take this step? Do you think it would be that situation?
Yeah, because we've talked about it, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of these conversations we've had, and anytime I get something in my spirit, we gonna have it again. But they know, because I've told them, we don't want to put you in a position that you can't come back from, right? So prevention is my biggest thing, right? So if you are feeling like that, we got to put some stuff in place. I'm all about prevention. I'm not about, keeping you locked in the house so that because my mama didn't do me like that. And I know, I displayed signs of responsibility early on. Is why she felt comfortable enough to do that. Yeah. And, and it's the same with them. Like, we talk. Like they know, like, because I've often told them, like, hey, whatever we gotta do, like, cause number one, you get pregnant, you can't put that mug back. That we gotta deal with that, that's here. You know what I'm saying? So let's if that's if that's where we at with it, I want to help you. I'm on your team. That's the culture around here. Like, I'm on your side. Whatever we got to do to keep you protected and get you to a point in your life where you can make that decision when you're ready.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. Because ultimately, I can't control your vagina. I can't. My mama couldn't control mine. You know what I'm saying? And I think that us as parents, we got to realize some things, because it's not always about this dictatorship, right? It's about getting my girls to a place where, because see, with me, when I was 19, I shouldn't have been having no babies. I was still figuring out who I was. You know what I'm saying? And I have been vocal with them about that. So they know, okay, dang, my mama was 19 and she still didn't feel like, because I was still a kid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you want to give yourself the best possible start. Because I had children, I feel like I delayed a lot of things about 10 years. 10 years of my life was delayed because I chose to start having children. You know what I'm saying? And I don't regret any of it, because those are the decisions that I made. But I want you to see that it didn't have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? I could have waited. Because you got your whole adult life to be a parent if that's what you choose to do. You know what I'm saying? You got your whole adult life for that. You know what I'm saying? Get yourself to a place where you don't have to struggle for nothing. I went through, because I had my kids young. I'm 19. What experience do I have? What's on my resume that's gonna make these folks pay me top dollar? So I went through some financial things. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have to do that. You want to get yourself to a point where you're straight. And if you choose to have children, you ain't worried about no money, because you already got that in the bag. But it's hard to do that after the kids, right? Even though, for me, my kids were the motivation. So they pushed me into something that I didn't even know I had, because I just wanted to be a good mom for them. So, it just depends on how you look at things. I'm a big glass half full type of gal, make lemonade out of lemons type of gal. So while everybody was counting me out because I had these 3 kids back to back, they didn't understand what God was doing. And I've always been tapped in to manifestation, and things might not look a certain way, but that don't mean that that's how it's going to be all the time. God is always working and always moving. So even though I probably should have waited to have my kids, they were the best thing that ever could have happened to me, because they kept me out of trouble. They kept me out of trouble, Brittany. I swear to God. While all of my friends were like moving to LA and moving to Atlanta and doing this and doing that, at the time, I'm like, damn, I'm missing it. I'm missing it. But it kept me out of a lot of It kept me in the house. It kept me wanting something to live for. It kept me, not wanting to embarrass them in no type of way. So now it's like, because I want them to be proud that I'm their mom too. I don't want them ever be embarrassed of me or anything that I did out here in these streets. And, and that's part of the reason why I'm so vocal with them, is because can't nobody come and tell my kids nothing that I ain't already told them. They know me. They know me.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta get into some tea, because
let's go.
I was scrolling on the was on Instagram or Facebook, one of them, and I had seen something where Carlos King was interviewing Jocelyn about her being one of the highest paid reality stars. And she was talking about my very first season, I was making like $1,500 an episode, and then the second episode they gave me $10,000, and then it went up to $200. That, like, she was talking about all the money she was making, and she was like, I'm at a point where I never had to go and negotiate anything. Like, they just kept giving me more of this, and then her royalties now go to her daughter, Bonnie Bella. And I'm not really into like I watched Love and Hip Hop growing up, but I ain't watching her recent stuff.
Exactly.
I was a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta girl because that was like the thing, right? Like the whole world was watching, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But when you say that you don't want your children, do you think? Well, man, I don't know. She seemed really confident about it. I would feel some type of way, and I don't want to come off judgmental to anybody, but like, dang, you did all of that for a check.
Yeah. Yeah, because like even with the stuff that I've been posting as of recent, it still has to be like
Tasteful
within the realms of how far I'm willing to go. You know what I'm saying? I have a meter on things that I will not report, I will not post. You know, certain things that even though I know it'll drive numbers, I just won't post it.
Yeah.
Because it is not even something that I care to speak about. So the things that I post, I have some level of interest in it. Yeah. If I'm not posting about it, I don't care at all. Even if I know my audience is going to care, and I have to do that because some things are off brand, right? And yes, some things are off brand, even in the realm that I'm in. It's some things that just like, why are you talking about that? They don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, where did you get that from? Okay, so for instance, like the Sukiana and JT thing, right? So on the heels of the Chris Brown Quavo beef, on the heels of the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, which J. Cole exited, kudos to Jay. It just seemed like they were pushing this beef thing like it's a trend now, right? So I'm like, yeah, I know y'all gonna eat this up, but I'm not even I can't. It's first of all, it takes energy for me to go and follow that story. It takes energy for me to go and research and to make sure that I'm fact checking before I'm posting stuff about these folks that they could, if it's public record, they can't come after me. But you know, you just don't want to make. I'm not trying to make enemies here either, right? I'm just speaking on public information, right? But it takes energy for me to do that. So, you know, it has to be worth it. I can't, you know, when you go talk about Jocelyn and everything, how she portrayed herself, her image, because we don't know these people personally. We only know what they portray, right? Yeah. And so I could never embarrass myself or my girls or my family for that matter, just for the money. It has no, because especially if that's not who I am. Now, if that's who you are, I ain't judging.
Right? Look, no judgment. If that's who you are, that's who you are. Look.
But if you're doing that to monetize, what's the difference from a prostitute or, you know, stripper? I mean, you know, well, she was stripping, but you get what I'm saying? Like, they're doing that for the coin. So where are the morals at? And you have a daughter now. So the things that, okay, I'm gonna put it like this. Some of the things that I probably would have been okay with before I had kids, I'm not okay with that shit now. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's because I have an obligation to show them the way, right? Mm-hmm. And if I'm leading them to oblivion, what does that say about me and my parenting? And you know, I have to, now if they choose to stray on when they become adults, that's between them and God. But as a parent, I have an obligation to them to show them the right way, you know, to give them the tools to be great legally, and you know, to use what God put inside of you to get your coin. Here's the thing. A lot of the blessings that have come down on me, they came to me. I don't go looking for pretty much of anything because God has always been, he's been pulling me. I'm those footprints, that is real. Those are his. I'm on his back. Okay. So a lot of that's why I don't really worry about too much, Britt, because God has never, even when I felt like I was about to lose it all and give up, and you know, God is like, nah. Yeah. We got more to do. We got more to do.
Never fail you, never leave nor forsake you. I'm here for
Yeah.
All
So
of the testaments. Yes.
all
Yes.
of it. And so back to your original question, is just in the grand scheme of things, I have an immense amount of integrity. I have a huge morale system. The way I was raised, a lot of things just I don't do. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of things I could be doing, I just don't. I remember like coming up early in the dance world, and people be like, "Girl, that body, I be stripping." And I'm like, "But I have morals." Like what? That never even occurred to me that just because I have this body that you think I should be using to strip, but I got a brain too,
Yeah.
a big
Oh.
one, and
Oh.
I choose to use that. I choose to lead with that. That's why, you very rarely see me like twerk in my videos, or, it's just certain things because I just don't want to embarrass them. I just don't.
I'm here
I
for
just
that.
don't.
Mamas, like I want everybody to put that in their parenting toolkit. Let's not embarrass our babies. Like, let's not embarrass our babies. I love that.
Exactly.
We are
Yeah.
coming to excuse me, the end of my allergies is acting up, y'all. I'm not,
I know, girl. Ain't it crazy?
baby,
St.
the
Louis weather
pollen
is
is
like,
got man down. Look, mama down. Uh
yes.
as we come to like our wrap and everything, I want you to tap in and tell people, what your biggest mommy gem is. Before we do that, I definitely want to give you flowers. Like I said, I think that you're an amazing creator. I think I love the way that you show up is extremely authentic and relatable. And I don't do like I don't follow Shade Room, I don't follow Boss, I don't follow Hollywood, and like I don't follow any of that. And I never had the desire to. Like I want, I will watch my reality TV to decompress or whatever.
Yeah.
But I never like got to tap into it online. But I think the way that you do it is very tasteful. And
Thank
I love the
you.
fact that you are, you have your limits and your parameters around how you will post. What was this last month? When my family had RSV, so it's 2 months ago, we had RSV, and I posted just some context of things I didn't know. This is the reason this podcast is here, because I have amazing conversations. I get to swap gems with people, and I feel like, man, people really don't get this type of value on the
Right.
daily. So let me create something where I can have these raw, transparent, vulnerable conversations, like an extension of what my social club is. But I've gone viral probably maybe 6 times in the last 4 years. And there's 2 times that I was like, oh, I wish I could have did that again, because it was truly on brand. It was in alignment. It was something that it was just so, and then there was some other stuff I was just posting being vulnerable, being a mom. So when I went viral, about a month and a half ago, 500,000 views, like all these people sharing and comment, like all of the mommy police, all of these other people. And I kept it up for a few weeks because some people were tapping in and say, "Oh my God, thank you. That this just wasn't me. Oh, my baby was hospitalized. Oh, we dealt with RSV. This is something that we did." Now I was giving gems in between it, and then I had again the mommy police to come. I would never put my child online like this. I would never talk about like. So again,
Right.
you feel all of that, right? But then too, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, God, if this meant my platform would be blowing up, I don't want to. My child don't have a choice right now. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like your children are
Right.
of
Right.
age where they have a choice where they want to be online. I would post to her. I had like some text cover on top of it, but I posted her like how she was shivering in the shower and I was trying to cool her down. And people came and I was like, man, that's the one thing. And someone said, it's some perverts that could be using this for child porn. And I'm like, if that was happening, I just, as a mom, it didn't sit right with me. And I took it down,
Yeah.
right? But and
Mm-hmm.
of course, like my profile had like all of this humongous reach for about 2 months. I was like, if that's the way that it would come, God, I don't want it, because I don't want it to be something that will hurt my child in the end.
Right.
You get what I'm
Right.
saying? Or it
Yeah.
to be something where I'm exploiting my family for views, right?
Right.
So,
Right.
to that person who wants to be a mommy content creator, or just someone who wants to share their, their life online, what advice would you have for them in this journey?
So my biggest piece of advice: trust yourself. Trust yourself, because when your heart is in the right place, of course, when viral, right? That's kind of their job, is to come and poke you and, try to bring you down. But trust yourself, because where was your heart when you posted that, right? You posted that to try to reach the other moms that may be in that same space as you were in that moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like you said, you had all this stuff covering her, so you took the precautions that you were supposed to take, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are they to judge anything that you do in regards to your baby? Because let me tell you, when they were small, they didn't have a choice either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We just got to a point where I'm having to clear stuff through them and having to get approvals from them before I post things. We just got there, Britt.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in all of that, I had to trust me. And I'm like, I know the vision is crystal clear.
Yeah.
I know that I'm not doing this to exploit them in no type of way. What I'm doing is trying to create a space for them that will be lucrative if we do it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And so that, just trust yourself. That's the biggest piece of advice I have, because where your heart is. You know the intent that you had when you posted it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the mommy police, they are rampant, honey. They are rampant. And let me tell you, not one of us has the same kid, right? That's why I said
Mm.
in the beginning, I'm like, I know that that's not everybody's story. You know what I'm saying? I'm very aware that each child is more different than the last, okay? And none of the kids are gonna be the way that you think they should be.
Yeah.
So, you just gotta trust yourself. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? That's the one thing that has been keeping me at this pace for years, is that I feel like I know what I'm doing, and I feel like I'm not ever intentionally putting my kids in harm's way. And if harm comes a knocking, we here, baby. What's up?
Mm.
We
Mm.
here.
No
Cause
backing
I
down.
ain't never cause what I'm gonna do until the day I die is defend my kids and defend anybody that thinks they could talk about my parenting in any type of way. Because guess what? My kids are a product of my parenting, and it ain't nothing you can say about them that speaks to me being a bad parent. So
Mm.
I'm good with that. I'm
Good.
good with that. So again, trust yourselves out there, mommies. You got this. You got this. Them your kids, you know them better than anybody else. You know what you're doing. Trust yourself. You got it.
And that's all I got for y'all. Let people know where they can connect you and connect with you. What platforms are you most on? What you got going right now, Purp? Tell
Okay,
people.
y'all. So my absolute favorite platform is, of course, Facebook. Like, they treat me so well over there. So follow me on Facebook at DeJanel Freeman. And then you can also follow me. I have 2 pages on IG. I am Purple Rain Official, and then my social media management / marketing company is at Purp World Digital. And I guess you can follow me on TikTok, because I don't know if that's gonna be banned or what, but if it's not,
Yeah.
follow me at Purple Rain 87, guys, over there. My website, where I have a blog, guys. I don't really see, Brie, I be having so much going on. I have a blog. So you can catch the blog, and it's kind of like, it's integrated with like dance and wellness and everything that is me already. And it's called Perk World Digital multiscreensite.com. Check it out. Yeah, I'm trying.
That's it. No, you doing. Look, already gave you your flowers, so we ain't even gotta go back there. Look, trust that you doing the darn thing. That's it.
Thanks,
Okay,
honey.
y'all. Look, this has been such a fruitful conversation. I hope you got as much value as I did. If you are a mom and you are doing life alone, and you're like, man, I wish I could have conversations like this, but just on the regular, you can be in spaces where it's not competition, it's all love. Like I said, we're in the same industry, we do different things, and I feel like I mess with her because she just who she is, right? Like, and I feel the same. I've never
Period.
felt any animosity or anything about her. So I just hope that you know that there are communities where you can tap into people who are genuine. I own one called Rich Mama's Club, and I'm going to tell you some more about that. So watch this quick video, and I hope you enjoy this one. I'll see you in our next episode.
Hey mama, I know you enjoyed this episode. I just wanted to let you know that you should tap into community because you need friends. You deserve to be around people who love, support, and accept you for who you are and can hold your hand along this journey. So check out Rich Mama's Club. Thanks for watching.